Hello. So, um, today I'm going to try and explain what buoyancy is all about. First, well, this is not a new topic for me, not at all. I mean, it's not like I've talked about this multiple times in my life. That's also not the case. But I did um, research and also explain it. I also explained the topic a couple years back. Actually, it was for a an English class, or more like an English course I was doing. And I did that because physics are interesting to me, but that's not the case here. Or well, that's not what I'm trying to talk about right now. So, buoyancy. Pretty much whenever you have any kind of fluid under a certain pressure or under gravity. I have not researched this. I don't know what happens under different circumstances, like in space or on a free fall. Alright? I do know what happens under regular Earth's conditions. So we have a fluid, could be air, could be water. In these fluids, when you drop an object on them, there will be a force, the force of buoyancy, trying to push them upwards. And of course, depending on if the weight of the object is greater than that buoyancy force or not, depending if it is greater or not, then we will see the object either arise to the top or slowly sink to the bottom or kind of stay moving around in the water. So what is happening in here? Physically, pretty much you have the fluid surrounding the object, and such fluid has pressure. It is exerting pressure all around the body of this object. And when it does that, you have to realize that pressure, at least under Earth's gravity, will be greater the lower you are. Alright? I mean, the greater the amount of stratosphere above you, or the greater the amount of water above you, the greater the height of the water or the air above you or above that object, then the greater will be the pressure. And so the theory goes a bit like this. The upper part of the body of that object will be subjected to a lesser, weaker pressure, and the lower or the bottom part of the body of that object will be subjected to a greater pressure. And so what happens is that, well, it's pretty much like squishing a bar of soap. That's an analogy I thought of a couple of years ago. The actual I mean, the more you try and think about it, it gets more complicated, but the way I understood it was like that. You should try to grab a bar of soap or maybe a cold bar of butter as hard as you can. It is going to slip. It is slippery. It will try to get out of your hand. So when the pressure on the bottom part is greater, the object will tend to go upward. Why? Because it is the place with less pressure. Pressure is surrounding the body of the object, all around it. And where is less pressure? Give me a second. Where is the part where it has or where it experiences less pressure? On the upper part, above it. So it will go that way. Why? Because pressure pretty much is trying to push you from all directions, and so the weaker pressure, the one above, is being defeated. It's being overwhelmed by the greater pressure on the bottom, on the lower part. So you end up with the object going upwards if the force of buoyancy is weaker, is stronger than the weight of the object. Apart from that, you also have to take into account the density of this object. Why? Well, you see, the denser the object is, the more dense the object is, the greater will that well, the force of buoyancy depends on the volume of water that is being displaced. Because again, if you have a greater surface, because also, yeah, this depends on volume. If you have a greater surface on which the pressure can push on, then yeah, you end up having a greater force of buoyancy. So the more dense the object or the material is, then you have a greater force of weight without having a greater volume. So that's it. That's that. Thank you all for listening. Goodbye.